Akeem, just mute yourself. Akeem, mute yourself. Okay, guys, let's just wait for 5 minutes. Let's everyone join in. We'll start all then. Okay, everyone, let's just start with today's session. So today we basically will cover up with the OOPS concept, and then we'll just move into I'll show you the template that you need to follow in, and then we'll eventually move into the pre-processing sections. What pre-processing actually we need to do for working with Python, in the data for working with Python, and then we'll accordingly I'll show the template on, and we'll move into the EDA process. Fine. So if the time permits today, we'll start off, take the data from the website, any of the website, maybe Kaggle will take it down, and we'll do the pre-processing there and see how it works. Okay, so let's just begin. Is my screen visible, everyone? Guys, my screen is visible. Am I audible as well? Can't you hear me? Hello, guys. Am I not audible to you?
Audible, ma'am.
Okay, so why you people were not responding?
The screen is not visible now.
Fine, I'm doing that. Just a minute. So at least try and speak up, right? Because I am asking hundred of times, where are you? Like, is my voice audible or not? So you took so much time to reply back. Just a moment, let me just share my screen. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we'll cover
Yes,
the
ma'am.
OOPS concept first, then we'll just move in. Krishna Chaudhary. Yes, Krishna Chaudhary. You have raised your hand. Any query? Anyone new to the
Oh
session
no.
today? Is there anyone whose today is the first session for them? Fine, we'll just check it on then. Okay, we'll just move it on. Sorry. Just okay. So we'll start with the OOPS concept today. So guys, you are familiar with OOPS concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So tell me, what is OOPS concept?
OOPS is a programming paradigm that based on the concept of object, which can contain data in the form of objects, means attributes or properties, and code in the form of a procedure, method, or function. And
Okay. It does contain classes as well, not only object, but also classes.
yes,
Okay, we'll just move in and see it in a bit details. So you can think of OOPS as a way to model real life inside a program, right? So your life, you're putting it inside a program. So instead of writing the long list of instruction, we describe things and how those things are related. What are things actually here? So things is their properties and what they can do. Okay, what are things? Here we mentioned things means their properties and what they can do. Fine. So here actually what we are taking it off. So instead of writing the long list of instructions that it is been needed to describe a particular thing and how those thing is related, we are just moving it on in a form that this approach actually uh, mirrors how human actually like naturally think about the world, like about an object and their behavior. So it's easier for for designing, understanding and maintaining, right? So this is actually OOPS all about. So it is a object oriented programming. So we can think about inside a OOPS we do have several points in, right? So the very first is the class. So what is class? So a class, we can think it of as a like a blueprint or a template or receipt. Okay, so it describes the property, something we can have and the actions it can perform in. Okay, but it is not the actual thing. Like how to describe you in that format? Like you can think about the blueprint of any of the house. Like suppose you are building a house of your own. Before building the structure, in reality you create a blueprint of it, right? So I want my house to look like this from the front, from the back, from the side, and interior I want this and that. So there is a blueprint out, right? So nowadays it happens that you get a 3D blueprint also, that is modeled using AutoCAD, and they are using that for making one who wants to build the house, making one understand that this is how your room or this is how your entire house will look after it has been built, right? So before that, before building a house, we create a blueprint out, right? So that actually is not the actual thing. So this blueprint is actually the class. So hope this is understandable. About class, what example I did, could you relate with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we can think about, again, I'm just giving a reference or an example from real life so that you can connect it. Okay. So we can think about a cake recipe, right? The recipe list, it contains the ingredients and the steps, right? The recipe is not actually the cake, right? But it tells you how to make the cake. So that is the overall blueprint of making the cake. That template or the recipe book is not actually the cake, right? That is not in reality. That are the steps that has been given. If you follow all of it, you can build a real cake for yourself. So this template or the blueprint that we are preparing, that comes into this class section. Okay. So there is some of the key points that needs to be understood. So in that form, we can think about a class that defines what attributes. So attributes, what it means. So attribute means, just a moment. So attributes actually mean about characteristics. Right. So attributes means characteristics and what action, like what action in the sense, things it can do. What action means? Just like things it can do. Fine. And and what actions the object that type will have actually in that form, if I need to say it. So it's like what attributes and what action object of that type will have. This is exactly what we need to mean up here. Hope this class section is clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now inside the class, it is we can call it as abstract. So why it is abstract? Because it doesn't occupy the space or hold any of the real values, right? Until like we are creating an object from it, until we are creating an object from a class, it is called as an abstract because we don't occupy, like it actually don't occupy the space or hold any of the real values inside it. So that's why it is called as the class or the abstract portion. Okay, so let's give a example of class. So class, we are calling it as suppose maybe car model. So what happens? So the attribute listed by the class under this would be attributes. That is the characteristics. So it would be the number of wheels, the color options, and maybe the engine type. So this all are its attributes. How many number of wheel that car is having, like what is the color option of that car, what is the engine type, that all comes under attribute. Now the action listed by the class would be by the car model class actually. Fine. Car model class, that would be like to start the engine, to stop the engine, to accelerate. These are the actions. These all are the actions. So hope this example is clear to you. Under class, we have two options, that is attributes and action. Attributes are characteristics and actions are the things that we can do. Then we have just given an example. We have created a class. The name of the class we have given as car model. So against this model, the attributes of this car model is the number of wheels, the color option that it can choose in, the engine type, and the action listed by this car model class is starting the engine, to stop the engine, to do a proper parking, to accelerate, to decelerate, all of this. Hope things are clear to you about class. Then we'll move on to object section.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, what it is object? The object is the real and the concrete thing that we are thinking of. From this blueprint, what we are actually preparing, that comes under this object. Okay, so like we can think about the house that you have created from the blueprint that we have discussed in the class section. So it has a specific like address, it has a specific color to it, a specific furniture with what you want to decorate that, right? So that actually, when it actually come into existence, it comes into the object part. Suppose I have given you the example of cake baking, right? In cake baking section also, there you get the option like when you make the cake from the exact cake from the recipe, the cake, the how that cake is, the cake is real, right? When you are baking it from the recipe, you are following the step, but the cake has been built in real. It is tasty. It is like it is actually has some flavors in it. You can understand it when you are eating that up. So that is actually comes under the object. Okay, so we call it as the real value. So object does have the real values for the attributes. This against the attributes For class, we called it as abstract because that is mostly backend. That doesn't count into it, right? But in case of object, what it is, it has the real values for the attributes that we have defined in this class section. Okay. And next, when we are thinking about creating any like many objects from the same class with different attributes value, we can also do that. Is that clear? Now let me just give an example on. So we'll create an object where we will be putting car A. Car A, maybe we are taking from where we are taking, from this one, from this blueprint we will be taking. Okay, so now maybe let me describe the attributes, some of the attributes here. So the attributes, maybe we can choose as color. That would be red, just for a reference taking. Okay, then engine type, we can take it as petrol based. And next, maybe I can add the attribute of owner, who owns the car. Maybe someone named Ria own it. So this all are my attributes. And the action, so action is like you can call car A to do all of this task, like start engine, stop engine. Okay, so actions. So I'll call this, I'll actually try and call, I'll actually tell this car A to do this tasks. So this all are my actions. That would be same that I have enlisted in the car model class, in the car model class, exactly. So hope I have made car and the object clear to you. Henceforth, you won't be facing any of the issue understanding about the class and the object. Guys, can you can you answer?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay, fine. So we'll move into the encapsulation part. So what we are doing in encapsulation, we are bundling and protection. It is actually says that it is bundling and protection. Sorry. Fine. So encapsulation means bundling or an object data, that is the attribute, and the action that operates on that data together. Okay, so like it's like binding the internal details so that the outside world interact only through the simple interface that we are having. So let's just give a simple methodology and or simple example. So you can think about a TV remote, right? So you can press the buttons. Yeah, you don't need any of the proper, like you don't need to open the circuits. You don't need to open the remote and fiddle and work with the circuit. You can just press the buttons and the channels get changed, the volume get up, and whatever the specification you are maintaining inside it, all of that get mentioned, right? So this all are comes under encapsulation part. Okay, so we can create like there can be another example to put it in this form. So we can think about a bank account object. So there is a public action like the deposit, withdrawal, and the balance check, right? Are you getting my point, or should I write it down for better understanding? Guys, are you understanding? Can you just like answer me? Is that possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened, guys? What is the issue? There is around 17 people up here. Can't you just reply? I know these are very basic, but when you'll be going ahead and doing the modeling part, right? There you would be needing this. If until and unless you are just copy pasting the codes and pasting it, you need to know all of it. You need a proper practice on it. So that's why we are going from very scratch. So hopefully you will be giving some of the reply from your end henceforth. Okay. So as I was telling it Rob. So we are giving an example of out here. So what we are doing in this example sections, so we are taking a bank account object, okay? So here we are having two forms, the public action. Also, there are some of the hidden internals, right? So there is a public action. So public action is like the deposited amount that they are providing. So deposit is what is deposit? That is the amount that you are putting in. Also, you have the option of withdrawal. So that is amount. Amount only you can withdraw, right? So that's why I'm putting it amount. And then you have the option of checking your balance. Okay, so you have an option of checking the balance. But when there is a hidden internals, like how the bank updates, how the frauds is being checked, how the interest is calculating, you don't get to know it, right? You don't see it or directly change any of the possible forms. So you are provided only, you use the provided actions that has been taken into. So you don't have the access to the hidden part that is there inside the bank, right? So you can only deposit the amount, you can withdraw the amount, and you can check the balance. Okay, so this is all about the encapsulation. So encapsulation where we keep something hidden, like there is a bundle or the protection that is required. That's why we call it encapsulation. Next is abstraction. So what is abstraction? It's showing the essential, like the hiding the rest, because abstraction in that case, we call it as like it only shows the essential part of it, the hiding, the rest of the part that is hidden, that we are actually putting it into rest. Okay, so abstraction is the idea of simplifying the complex system by focusing on the important features and ignoring the unnecessary details that we are having. Okay, so suppose you are driving a car, so you use the steering, the paddles, the indicators that you use, right? But you don't need to understand how the engine timings is, what is the fuel pump that they are giving, or the fuel injections work, or to driving for driving in what engine, like based on that, what is the capacity of the engine and stuff. You technically don't need to know or don't need to work it through, right? So this is actually the abstraction part. Next, we'll go to the inheritance section. So in inheritance, what happens? like as we all know, we inherit the characters from our parents and from our future like the from our past generation, like maybe our grandmother, grandfather. Actually, the traits has came from our grandfather, grandmother to our parents, and from our parents we have inherited that, right? So it's like the family trait, like the children inheriting the color of the eye or maybe any of the parental behavior from the parents, that is very unique, right? So it's like family trait. So we can also think about the vehicle categories, right? The car actually get the inherent general characteristic from the vehicle. So it does has a wheel, a engine. So it inherits some of the characteristic from the vehicle category. So this is all about, like in inheritance, a new class adopt the attribute and the action of any of the existing class, and then we can add or modify the things in the newer class to make it more better. So this is all about inheritance. Next we have polymorphism. So in polymorphism actually means many forms but same interface. So polymorphism means like the same action or interface can work on different type of object, and they respond in their own way actually. Okay. So we can think about like a play button on different device. This play button is same, right? When you are using it in any of the music app, or you are using it to start a movie, or you are using it to start a web series, anything maybe, the play button is same, but based on a different interface, it is like the look of it is different, and you get the user is experience in is the same, right? So because you are just, you know about play button, you just need to play it around. So this is actually about the polymorphism. Hope everything is clear to you. Then we'll just move into the Python codes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Okay. Just a minute. Let me just open it up and reshare with you. Okay, it has already opened by default. Okay, so this is actually the OOPS basically, the basically the concept wise in the Python section. So this is here we will be understanding each of the steps in a bit details. Okay, so here we'll step wise we I am trying to explain. If you have any query, do let me know. Fine. So here we have used the class person. So this line actually is creating the class. The name of the class is person. Okay. So as I mentioned, the class is like a blueprint or template for creating an object. So this is all about that part. Now we are putting it like this is here we will be adding the attributes in. So name equals to unknown we have given. So this line actually creates an attribute. Okay. So what we called this, we also called a variable. This we call this as a variable inside the class, because a majority of time we are well accustomed calling it as variable only, right? So this is the class. Inside the class, we have got the specific variables or the attributes that we have got. So it gives a default value. We have already given a default value to it, that is unknown, to the person's name, the name of the person. Like if we are calling it as person's name, so we are by default we are giving it as unknown. Okay. Now we can see for the next stage, age equals to 0. This is another attribute that stores the age of the person. So by default, for every new person, we have the age 0 unless like we see it in different form or we work it through in different form. Okay. So this is actually this says this is the attribute part, because we already discussed a class consists of an attribute and the method. Method is the thing that we can do or the action. So method or action. Okay, so here we use def, say hello. This part we are using. So it here we are actually defining a method, which means like an action, actually an action that is related to the person. This person object we are actually performing. This object can perform which kind of task or action that we are actually defining in. Okay, so we are saying say hello, and here we are using the word self. It is very important because it refers to the current object, right? A specific person who is doing the action. It actually defines that very person. Okay, so this is all about this section. Now, say hello is the, as you know, we have already discussed about the function yesterday. Def is for defining any of the function, and say hello is the name. Right now, what is the action that it needs to follow? It needs to print hello, my name is, and self name. There would be a self name that would be given to it. Okay, so this is all about this section. So self name means like use the name attribute. This name attribute, I need to use it for the current object, like who is speaking it for that person. This name object I need to take care. So hope this part is clear to you.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
can a class have someone attributes that can't be changed? It means if they are constant.
I didn't get you. Like your
Can a class
voice was break.
hello?
Yes, yes.
Can a class have some attributes that can't be changed, or if they are constant? If we used to,
Yeah,
hmm,
yeah, definitely. We can keep it like we don't need to change that. We will just keep it segregated. Like that only will be kept as by default for each of the section. That's what you are mentioning, right? For whenever we are changing any of the other attributes, that will keep same, right?
okay,
That's what you are
okay.
saying. That's
Yes,
what
yes,
you are saying, right? Yes, we can
yes.
do that. Definitely.
Okay.
Okay, so hence we are going ahead for next part, that is creating an object. So here we are, what we are doing, we are just creating the person one we are creating, and this was the class section. This is the object section. So this person here we are taking. So here we are creating the object for the class person. Next, what we are doing, person one dot name equals to Alice. We are giving it up here. So what we are doing here, we are changing the value from unknown to a specific value. Okay, so here we are giving Alice up here. So it is giving me a proper name to it. Okay, so originally the person was by default, the name was unknown. Here I am changing it. The age section also I am changing it. And now I am calling it up. I am calling the method. Like this action will be performed by this object, and I am calling it out. Calling it round. Here, hello, my name is this is supposed to be printed. So see, it has printed hello, my name is Alice, because the newer attribute I have given as Alice. Clear? We'll just move in then. Next, we'll just move in. So we'll move in for this section where we are actually considering about the init part. So without constructor, first we will see like without constructor how we can work through, and with constructor what is the best thing to move in. So here is the class person. It is for this line we have created the class. The name of the class is person. Now we have gone ahead and created this name and age attributes, and inside this we have created it. And by default we have printed, like called this function and like called this class actually, and eventually taken for all of the attributes, given a proper input to it, and then again called this action to perform well. So you can see that it has printed me like this, right? So this is how we need to do it without a proper constructor, right? But now if I have a proper constructor to it, like init we are using, then how we are supposed to do it? So we are same, we have created this person. Now here we have used def init. Here we have include self, name and age. So this line actually defines the constructor method of the class. So what is a constructor actually? So constructor is a special function that actually automatically runs every time a new object of the class has been created, right? So this name init literally means like initialize. This name init, it actually means initialize. Okay, so it actually initializes the object with the starting data. Right, so for that we have given it as name only, and later we have, see here we have changed the values. From a name we have given Alice to 20, Bob to 25, and we have called this function and we have got this value with this form. So is this clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll move into this another form, the similar form with init as we have used with init constructor. The same thing, the same we did. Here we have just added, here we have just included only the name, but the age was not including up. So here we have also used self.age to get I am this year of old. So it is giving me that result up. So here we have got another with the class section, with the car sections up. So here we have got the brand and the color, two attributes inside it, and we have got two different forms like car 1 and car 2. Here we have initialized, given the names actually, Tesla and red, BMW and blue, and we called it and we got it in this format. Hopefully up to this everything is clear. Now we will just move in with this encapsulation. So in encapsulation, as I have given the example, the similar way we have taken this encapsulation part. So where we are keeping this self balance section, this we are keeping it as private. So we have used the class bank account. Now we have used def init. So this is a constructor that automatically runs. Again, we have used self.balance equals to balance. This line actually stores the balance in the account, but notice some of the special two underscores we are using before it. So that is basically the like the inbuilt form how we need to use it in. Okay. Then we are using for deposit, we are using same, the amount we are putting in, and we are getting the amount up here. And when we are returning it up, we get some of the stuff we are getting, like this thing we are well accustomed. The deposit part we can access, the get balance part we are accessing, but this part is kept like this are not viewed to any of the person in real, right? So next is the inheritance section. So one class inherit the property from another. This is the actual stuff. So we have the class animal. So we have got the function like speak. So under this, the action is this animal makes a sound. So every animal can speak, but there is a generic way, right? How they actually speak it. So that for that we have created this. All of the animals do make sound, but different animals make different sound. So with this animal class, we have taken a dog class. So we have created the new class up here. The name of the class is dog, that inherits everything from the animal class. Okay, so under which inside the dog class, we have defined another method, that is def speak, that we have used, and we have used self inside it. So then after that, once that has been done, we have just gone and printed woof woof. Okay, because this is how, like, the barking sound of a dog actually. Okay, so once that has been done, we have just taken it down and used d equals to dog. So this actually we are creating the object for the dog class and stores in the variable d. Okay, and after that has been done, we are doing d dot speak. So why we are doing it? We are actually calling the speak method. The speak method, we are actually calling it off on that dog class, right? So that's why we are getting the print of woof woof. This animal makes a sound. This is, we are actually printing it woof woof. Okay, so similarly, we will move it down for polymorphism. So in polymorphism, first the cat class has been prepared, and inside it the methods that are like the methods that we have kept in, that is speak. For two class we have taken it. First the cat class, for it we have given the speak, and we have printed it meow, and for dog we have another print, that is woof. Right, so you can see here, after this you can see we have created animals, and we have given the two objects, one cat object and one dog object we have taken inside that. And next we have taken for a in animal. So this is a loop that goes for each animal in the list one by one. First loop comes down to the cat object, then in the second loop it comes down to the dog object, and I need to print it down like how they actually speak. So when it is coming down to cat object, it is printing meow, and when it is coming down for the dog object, it is printing woof. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll move into how, if we are not using the oops concept, then how we are supposed to work in through, right? So how we are supposed to work in through, that we will be looking at. So see here how without proper oops concept, we can be, if we need to work it like that, so we need to put it like this: student name Alice, student age 20, next student name Bob, student age 20. We need to print it like that, then only it gets printed, right? So we need to use initialize and then print. This is how we need to go ahead. But this doesn't look structured also, and even if I need to do anything majority or anything more advanced, then every time I need to add any other member, I need to write the entire section of the code, right? That is not possible. That's why we try and put in this format, so that when next class has been created under that, we can work it through like that. So see here with whoops how we are creating. We are using a constructor up here, putting the properties in, and we are using the like the attributes up here. Next we are doing making another function introduce. This is the properties, this is the action section, like what action we need to do. Now we need to create the objects of the class. So we have created S1 as like, we have stored it, given the student, we have given Alice, and 20 we have given, and again we have just for calling the action, we have used S1 dot introduce, S2 dot introduce. Now we have got this whatever is the task that has been done with the updated properties in. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have the iteration on. So this we have already done in the last session, for loop, while loop. So I'm not going in details about that. So we have NumPy section on. So we'll just give a brief about NumPy and then we'll move in. And if required, we'll just have a discussion of one or two codes up here. Okay. So basically, what NumPy array is. What do you think what NumPy array is? Anyone wants to put in what NumPy array is? Fine, let me just go inside it. So NumPy array is like a container, right? That holds many of the numbers or the value in an organized way, right? So there is a list that we discussed in the data types, a list of number, but there is some of the difference between it. So you can think about NumPy also as a list of number, but it is faster and more powerful than the list that we have already discussed in Python. And for the tables of number, when we are discussing about tables of number, so these are actually the tables of number altogether. So these are called the tables of number because like rows and columns in the Excel, that we actually take it into Python for better understanding. So this is a 2D array. This is how we are initializing the arrays, that is the tables, with the help of NumPy. Okay. So this is all about NumPy. So there is some of the basic difference that we need to check about the Python list and NumPy array. So if we need to add 5 to each of the numbers, suppose 10, 20, 30, 40, these are there. I need to add 5 up and I need to multiply it. Then in that case, it is not directly possible in case of Python list. We need to do it one by one and separately and then put it back. But with this array, Python array, we can definitely do it and we can do it in a better format. Here you can already see that we have taken this NumPy array. We have just imported the NumPy as NP so that it is easier for us to build it. So np.array, we have initialized an array. Now we have just printed the numbers. So see the numbers has printed. Now we want to print the number based on the index. For second index, I want to print it. So see, for second index, it has printed me 30. This is 0th index, this is first index, this is second index. So 30 it has printed. So now I want to add 5 to all the numbers. So I have used just print number plus 5 and it has printed, it has given me the updates 15, 25, 35, 45. I want to multiply 5 on. So it has given me 50, 100, 150, 200. But while we are using list, it is not at all possible. Hope the NumPy section is clear to you. Guys, is it clear, the NumPy section? This is the 2D array. This is how we are initializing the 2D array. And this is a 3D array. This is the way how we are going ahead for 3D array, like 3 cross 3 matrix in that form, or three forms in that form if you are checking, but it is 4 cross, like 3 cross 4 matrix actually. But in 3 cross 3 matrix, we are supposed to work it in this form. So hope up to this much is clear. Then I'll just dive into the showing you the template. Let me just open the template and show you how we can use the template and in what way we can use that. Just a moment, guys. I got a Let me just show you the template. Just a moment. Let me find it up. Just a moment, guys. It's loading it. Is my screen visible? I have presented.
No, ma'am.
Guys, is my screen visible? Okay. So this is how you need to work in. Okay. I am just giving you the template today, and tomorrow I'll just give you a better, like we'll just work in through and see how we can perform the EDA, because you'll be having the project this week and you need to work in through with the project as well. So this is the template everyone needs to follow. Everyone needs to work in the Google Colab, because it is a easier way where we can share our codes, and also if needed we can just share the file also. Fine, and we do get an option of code and text. There is an option of code and text, so we can write the text also along with the coding section, right? So the first thing first, that is there should be a proper project name out of here. So where we will be adding the project details, like this is one of my projects, so ignore that. But just dive into the form what we need to check it. So we need to add a project name with the proper project name. Okay, near there we need to add the type of the project, which type of project actually we are taking into account. Is it a EDA project? Is it a classification based project, regression based project, supervised, unsupervised? What type of project? Do mention it for, like, for sure. Okay, now the contributor, like, is it, are you preparing it with team and individual? But for you, it would be the individual contribution for first week to fifth week. Later down, you will give the group project and group members name as it is. You'll add your name up here as of now. Now there would be a proper project summary. Everyone write this now. Write this down to your file or somewhere, so that you have to add all of it. If in the project you are not adding it, your marks will, like the evaluation session, there would be not proper marks given to you on that. Okay, so keep a note on that, how you need to check on. Okay, so you'll be adding the project summary. Then you will be adding a GitHub repository. Like, you will put this code up there in the GitHub. Then you'll add this project GitHub repository link here and submit this collab file in the mail. Okay, so this is how you need to work. Next, there should be a proper problem statement that you need to mention. There would be some of the guidelines. So guidelines, this you don't need to add. Here for my project, I added, because the guidelines would include that some of the basic steps that you need to correlate with and work with. That is the major guidelines that I needed. But you know, don't have to add this guideline section, but above it, the project name, the project summary, the GitHub link, the problem statement, everything you need to add on. Okay, then the very first section, the coding part will start from here. So first it will be know your data. So you'll be adding import your libraries, then we'll add the cell and import the libraries. Okay, next you need to do like load the data set specifically. So you use your drive and mount the drive in and then set the path, and this way you just take it down. So you do get an option here in Colab, like here in the file section, you get an option to upload the CSV file here. But if like plotting it like uploading up here, you get an option like if you want to put in, you can put in, right? But that is not permanent, right? Where if there is a runtime error or your system crashes or there is an runtime stoppage of it, so it get like you don't get the access of it, then again you need to upload it and again run the code from the very first stage. So it's better that you use drive mount and take it forward. Next, you need to read the CSV file. After you have read the CSV file, make sure that you are keep making a copy of that CSV, like the data frame that you are creating. You are making a copy of the data frame and do all of the pre-processing section in the copied version of it, not the exact data set that you are working on, like the data frame actually. Okay, then you will be viewing the first data set view you'll be doing. So df.head, and you can also do df like df.clean. This is my copied version of it, copied version of the data frame actually. So after that, I'll use tail df tail, so it will give me the last 5 rows of my data. So this is, you will get the first 5, like the first view of the data set from the first and from the last also. Okay, next you will go and see the rows and columns count, database information you'll be taking it. Next, you'll be taking it about the duplicate values. What are the duplicate value that you need to check in? The missing value you need to check in. If there is any missing value, you need to plot it as well. Using missing go matrix, you can plot it. Using heat map, you can plot it down. Okay. Next, you'll go down. Here you'll be adding what after all of this, what you understand about your data set, that you'll be adding on. Okay. Now you need to understand your variables. What are the variables you are having? You need to understand it. So for that, you will set the columns up. You will print the column names and ask about the data types of the column. Now here you'll be give a proper description of your columns, like what is the columns of your data set are, like the features, what features you are having and what they signifies. Okay. Next, you need to check for the unique values for each variables. Next, you need to do the data wrangling, that is the data pre-processing that you need to do. And then you need to like by words also you need to mention what are the steps you followed for data manipulation. Okay. Next, the visualization. Visualization means plotting the graphs actually. Okay. So for any of the database, at least 10 plots you need to plot it. That is the EDA. This completes a proper EDA. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see from scratch how we can take the data from the web and how we can take all of this step into action. But this is the proper template that you need to follow while working on any of the project related to AI ML. And henceforth I'll be like whatever the steps that I'll be showing in tomorrow, I'll be using a Colab file and I'll be sharing each of it, but I'll not maintain this template because the template is for you and I am going to make you understand each and everything. So that's why I'll not follow the template. Okay, I'll just give the proper understanding and idea of it, how to take it and in what way you can take it. But this major step you need to work in through in that format. Okay, hope I have made myself clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hope you have taken the note of it, how to take it after what section is coming and how you need to work with this template. Everyone got it right?
Yes,
Are you going to share this template with us?
No, I am not going to share it. That's why that is my project. Okay, so I can't share it. So I have already shown you how you have to do it. Hopefully you have noted it down. In that form, you have to work on.
Okay.
So for everyone, for the weekend project, this is going to be your template for all of the AI/ML work. So you will be working in this template only. Follow this template. Don't miss out in any of the step that has been told. Tomorrow we will be seeing the visualization section. Along with that, we will be also seeing the pre-processing section. So tomorrow, don't be late. We'll just join in the session early, like early in the sense, the timing that is 6:30 in that form, and we'll start off with that, and we'll see how we can do it or take it further. Okay, because this related project you will be getting for this first week, and you need to work it on in that form, and you need to present it. So Yogeshwaran, right? Yogeshwaran, you are telling that you are new, right? So the drill for this is from Monday to Friday we have the classes. Since this is the first week, that's why from Monday to Friday we have the session. After that, on the weekends, the project is allocated to you based on whatever we have studied in the weekend, in the weekdays, whatever we have faced and worked on based on that. The project is given to you on your WhatsApp group on every Friday, and on Monday and Tuesday you have to present your project in the session. Yes, you can get the recorded session of it, but it will take some time. That will be given like this is the first week, right? So it will take some time to process on. So based on that, from next week you will get everything in your WhatsApp group, the recorded session links as well. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. And what was I telling? Yes, on Monday and Tuesday, you will be having the proper presentation of your project, because that is very much mandatory for the further evaluation of your task here in this internship. And based on your evaluation, only if you get a necessary set of marks and your evaluation is good, you are marked good based on that, only then you will be getting certificate, otherwise not. Okay, so your work is very much necessary up here, and also how you are performing in your project and also in the presentation. Yogeshwaran, are you also there in the data analytics sessions? Can you please confirm? Okay, so you are opting for both data analytics and machine learning, right? Fine. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Got it. So is there anyone else who are also opted for data analytics and AI/ML together? Okay, fine. Got it. So guys, we can just wrap up our session today here. And based on that, we'll meet tomorrow and we'll see how we can start with the project and how we can do the data pre-processing and also the EDA section. Okay, guys. So bye. Bye for today.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Tell me.
This week, Monday and Tuesday, I missed the class. So can I get that 2 day class recording, ma'am? Because this weekend I have to do project, right, based on
Right.
this week class.
I understand.
So
Don't
that will be helpful for.
I got it, but since the session has started on this week only, so it does take some of the time to get the recorded session like live. So just wait some time. If that is ready, you will get it in your WhatsApp group. I'll just ask if that is ready to share it with you. And for this session, don't you haven't miss out actually, because in the first day we have just the orientation session, and the second day Monday and Tuesday actually. So Monday was the orientation session, and second day I have described about the data types and the data forms along with some of the basic details related to Python. So tomorrow actually, today and tomorrow was the major thing actually, because tomorrow I'll be showing, since today I have given the entire template to you, and tomorrow I'll be working with the project from scratch. I'll be like downloading any of the data set from the from Capgill maybe, and showing it to you how you can take it further. Okay, so this is the agenda for tomorrow. So tomorrow's class is main to work with the project basically. So definitely if you are coming down tomorrow, you'll be able to work it through with the project as well.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone, any query, anything? Okay. Anything you want to ask? I'm just repeating it for the last time. If yes, you can raise hand and tell me. If not, we can wrap up the session today. Okay, guys. Then we are
Hello,
just
ma'am.
yes, yes.
Can you cut short that first day orientation, how this internship works? Because I have straightly gone through the classes on Wednesday. I
Fine.
don't know about
Let
this
me just share.
internship.
I got it.
This is 6 week internship. I only know. That's all.
So, haven't you gone ahead with the data analytics orientation session also?
No, ma'am. I have joined on Wednesday only. On Tuesday
Okay,
itself, I
fine.
was on, but it's late on that day. So,
Okay,
like,
fine. Got it.
okay.
I got it. Fine. Let me just share. Just a moment. Let me find it. Find the file actually. Then I'll
Okay,
be
ma'am.
sharing it. Just a moment. Okay, just a moment. Let me share it. Okay. This is the presentation actually. So I am just going according to the slides because you need to know about what is there based on the session. So week one, actually, we are covering Python for AIML along with the math refresher, basically the majority like the probability statistics, what actually we are requiring. So this we will be covering in tomorrow's session, where we will be working with the data. There we will be covering. Week two, we will be covering the data visualization and the pre-processing section. Week three, we are actually covering the supervised machine learning, where you will be learning different uh, industry-based machine learning models that you need to incorporate, like TF, IDF. Hope you know about BERT, Distilbert, related to the related to the language, natural language processing. That things, that kind of models you will be working with, along with. Week four, you'll be understanding about the unsupervised learning, model tuning, how you can do that. Week five, we will be covering with the neural networks along with the introduction of the deep learnings. So for all of these weeks, the classes for first week only the class came from went from Monday going down to Friday. But on second week, there is 2 days we kept for presentation, because if everyone completes the presentation in first day, the second day would be the technical theory and the hands-on. We actually kept Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for lectures, the sessions actually where we give the hands-on and the theoretical session. And then on again week 3, Monday, Tuesday, you will be having the presentation, and the weekends you'll be getting the projects. Okay. And week 6, there is a final project up, that is the capstone project and the deployment you need to do. Whatever you will be learning in all these 5 weeks, everything you need to incorporate in the single project, maybe with using other tools, maybe Power BI, maybe you need to use SQL, that you will be getting to know when the project will be coming to you. Okay. Along with that, you need to do the practical, and that is going to be a group project. And the group allocation, project allocation will be done by me, and I'll be doing that. And that you will be understanding in the 6th week itself. Okay. So this is the major approach, and the learning approach. Basically, we learn actually, then we have the practice session, we have the weekend projects that we need to build in, then you need to deploy it, then you need to share your projects up in GitHub. Okay, and these are the connections that you need to have a check. You can have a screenshot of it, and here in the mini project, you need to submit your project, and any of the related issues or stuff, you have to mail it in this mail ID. Okay, hope I have made myself clear now.
Ma'am, weekly project we want to mail through this mail, ma'am, through mini project.
Yes, in this,
Yeah.
yes, in this mail. So that will, you will get that also in your WhatsApp group. Don't worry. Just for a reference, I have given it up here. You can also take a screenshot if needed. Later, if you need it, you can access that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Hope, is it clear now? Anything else you need to ask?
No, ma'am, it's clear. Thank you. This is the same for data analyst also, right? But
The
different
format
module.
is same.
Word,
Yes,
yeah.
different modules. Yes.
Okay.
Because in data analytics, we started with the Excel, advanced Excel part. So this, it will go down to SQL, Power BI, and other visualization tools, automation modeling, like that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So if you want in the next day session, like tomorrow, you can remind me. I'll just show you for the data analytics also.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So guys,
Thanks,
hope, okay, fine. So we can just wrap up the session today then. Bye guys. Bye. Guys, you can leave the session. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.